Hello. So in the last tutorial we talked about the file handling. We are going to continue with this topic, but we would start with the new topic now, that is exceptions. Okay. Please keep it in mind that in every programming language there is a concept of exceptions. If suppose you talk about PLSQL, if you have an idea, then there is a raise underscore application underscore error or exception block. Okay. In Java also there are exceptions. Fine. In other programming languages also there are exceptions. So exceptions are nothing but error handling. When you want to handle your own errors, okay, whenever you feel that yes, there are chances that the error can come. So how to manage it, how to show it in your own words, okay, that can be, we can say, the exception. So we will start with it, and I will tell you how to make use of them and what do you mean by the exceptions. Let's start. So what is an exception? It is an event which occurs during the execution of program that interrupts the normal flow of program's instructions. So if suppose I am writing down the program for say finding the a by b, okay, and b can be a non-zero value or it can be a zero value. So it would be giving me the infinite output, and it would not allow me because in mathematics also when we write down a by 0 it would be infinity, okay, or it is an infinity, and in programming also it doesn't allow you, you want to get the output. So I want to raise an exception. If suppose by mistake for adding the while adding the values for a and b, if for b the user adds or enters the value as 0, what would happen? It should handle that particular error. So this particular error can be handled by using the exception handling. Okay, and they are nothing but the exceptions. So when we talk about the try, except and else block, or try except else finally block, so that is the syntax rather in Python, and there we talk about the try block has the computation, the code which you write it down. Except is nothing but the exception which you have raised. Else can be, except doesn't work, then it can be else. And finally, so finally has the things, the statements which would get executed anyways. Okay, so that is the idea behind this exception thing. Fine. So how are we going to write it down? We are going to write it down something like this. I will show you here. Try, if suppose I write it down, say, sorry. So I would have set try block. Okay. Then I would have the except block. And later I would have finally. Okay, that would be the last one, finally. Okay, so in this manner we write down the three blocks. So they are the three blocks which are available. Fine. So that is the idea behind it, and obviously in the try block we write it down in such a way that what is our code is all about. So let's start. Yeah, just I'll show you. We write it down something like this. Okay, in such a way we write it down, the try, then operations or execution of statement, except exception 1, except we write it down and then the exception 1. There can be the system defined exception, there can be user defined exception. System defined exception are defined by Python itself. User defined exception are defined by the users. So except exception 1, if there is an exception 1, execute the statement which are present over here. Okay, if there is an exception 2, execute the statements which are there in the exception 2. Else if there is no exception, execute this. Finally, in any condition, execute it. Okay, so this is the idea behind this try except else finally block, and all the executions are done over here. So we will try to write down the code and then we will understand. So I'll just go to new file, and obviously we can't execute this. That was just the syntax. Okay, now I'll say no, and then we'll write down the code. Okay, so you can see this code over here. Try f1 equal to open demo.txt, open it in the R mode. Now what is this file handling? So we are going to, I told you that we are going to make use of file handling everywhere. Okay, so f1 open demo.txt R in R mode, f1.write, this is my demo file for the exception handling. Fine, except IO error. Now if suppose this file doesn't exist, then okay, then I want this exception to get raised, IO error, that there is no file, ये file नहीं मिल रहा है, so show the error can't find file or read data. Fine, अभी ये can't, why did I write it down like this? अगर आपको can't लिखना है तो you can't write it down like this because they are double quotes, sorry, single quote inside double quotes. So you have to give a slash. Okay, after this apostrophe, you have to give this slash. Then only can't you can write it down like this. If not, you can write down the can't like this. Okay, what is the reason? Because within double quotes you are giving a single quote. Fine. So can't find the file. ऐसा हो सकता है कि demo.txt is not present. Else print written the contents into the file successfully. And I have to close this particular file f1.close. So I'll execute it. Just a minute. I have to check for the indentation. Otherwise, it will give me an error. Sorry. Okay, and we will run it now. This is our first exception program. So I would give here the name as exception 1. Okay, and I will save. Can't find the file or read data. Okay, let's see whether demo.txt is present or not. I'll have to check that. Open text file, and I would check whether demo is present or not. No, I can't see the file. Yeah. Sorry. The file is there. I'll have to check whether the contents are there or not. Just a minute. The contents are also there. Demo.txt, f1.write. Just a minute. I would run it again. I just made changes. Can't open the file or. Okay, so we would execute it now. Can't find the file. We will see whether demo.demo6 is present. You can see here there is no demo6.txt file present. Up to demo4, demo5 they are present. Okay. Now I will make it to demo5.txt. Let's see what happens. It's giving me the can't find the file for exception handling. Okay, but we would check the contents of demo5.txt. You can see here the contents are added. Okay, this is my demo file for exception handling. Okay, so they are there. Okay, and now if I change it to W, fine, and if I close this particular file and now execute it, sorry, You can see here return the contents in the file successfully, and we would try to open that particular file. What is the file name? Demo5.txt. This is my text file. So I would go to text file and I would open demo5. You can see here the contents. This is my demo file for exception handling. Okay, so in this manner we can see we can make use of this IO error. IO error is if the file is not found, you will get an IO error. Okay, so that is the idea about the exceptions. This was just one of the tutorial of exceptions. We would try them in the later tutorials also. Just try it and get back to me. Do let me know. Okay, thank you. Stay tuned.